So would you rather face a free kick from a prime Ronaldo or a prime Messi? Rahimovic from Goal USA, Goal Studs Up. We got a very special guest in the building. We got an MLS All-Star, Maarten Paes. We're gonna jump into some rapid fire questions. The first one is, who's a penalty kick taker that you've played against that has been extremely clinical? That was just the scariest penalty taker you've played against.
I had one in Utrecht, but it was a teammate. His name was Simon Gustafsson. I think he had almost like a perfect record, and he shot like every PK.
Oh my goodness.
Because he was like a little bit similar to Ivan Toney. He didn't look at the ball. He only looked at the goalkeeper.
Would you rather face a free kick from a prime Ronaldo or a prime Messi?
I would rather face Ronaldo. He hits it more with pace and with the knuckle, and where Messi goes more with precision. For example, on the free kick that I had, or if you look at the Liverpool goal he scored in the semi-final, it's like you can do what you want, but he just has that precision and the speed.
Yo, Maarten, by the way, I like your football knowledge, man. You know your stuff, bro. Portsmouth free kick, Messi, man. I can tell you a student of the game. I love that.
I've been playing a lot of football manager. Like if I didn't make it as a pro player, maybe I would have been scout or like.
Hey man, we might see you on the sidelines for the Netherlands one day. Who knows? This is actually a big question that's been going on in the Copa America and Euros. We've been seeing the popularity of stutter step penalties. As a goalkeeper, how do you feel about these? Do you think it's easier to save them, or is it more difficult because you can't really move around on the line?
I'm not a big fan of the stutter steps, and I'm not a big fan of the rule of the goalkeeper. They try to make it as easy as possible for the taker to score a PK. If you see it back and saw Dudek in 2005 with Liverpool, that's a little bit over the top to go off the line.
He was moving. He was dancing on the line.
Yeah, I know. But for example, last year I stopped the PK against Sporting Kansas City, and the guy did like 8 stutter steps, so I couldn't really time my dive right. So I was like maybe half an inch from the goal line. I made a really good save. But for me, it's a little bit over the top how they do it with the rule.
What's the best way to get inside a penalty taker's head?
First of all, it starts with preparation. Play with what he's done in the past. I think that's to get in his head the best.
Are you the type to have, the direction that he shot in on your water bottle or on the towel?
Luckily, my memory is good enough that I remember every taker. So before the game, I already know from every taker the history, and then we base the strategy on that.
Okay, Maarten coming with the strong memorization, man. I like that. Okay. How does it feel to go from a system with relegation to a system with no relegation, like in MLS?
First of all, I think if you think about the whole setup, with like equal chances for everyone, equal budgets, like salary budgets and stuff like that. I think it's way fairer here than in Europe, because let's say in the Eredivisie where I come from, Ajax has like a budget of 200 million, and there's clubs with a budget of 3 or 4 million.
Like Groningen or Breda or so a smaller club like that.
Yeah, or like Excelsior, they have like very, very low budget. So like there's almost no chance that Excelsior could beat Ajax, It definitely takes some pressure off the season that there's no relegation, because I've been relegated before with one of my former clubs. And it's awful. It costs jobs. Your salary is cut with like 30%.
30%?
Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty. It's just a very negative sphere. The fans are throwing rocks at the buses, stuff like that. In a way, that's good because it brings passion, but in a way, it's also very tense. I think with how the structure is set up in the US, it's just impossible to bring it to the US because of they want to protect the ownership.
What goalkeeper did you idolize growing up?
I always say I have 2. I remember the day that I wanted to become a goalkeeper, and it was after Edwin van der Sar. He won a PK shootout against Sweden with Holland in 2004, the Euros. And then the other goalkeeper, he hurt me a little bit in 2010. That was Iker Casillas always, because I think he's very like, I would say he has a similar style as mine in the goal. So Van der Sar maybe because he was like an inspiration to start, and he was a Dutch hero, and I loved his composure. And Casillas, I loved his agility and. He's incredible safe. So yeah.
What is the single most important quality a goalkeeper should have?
I think resilience. Show up always the same. Even like on other sports, if you think about Kobe Bryant or Tom Brady or whoever, it doesn't matter if they played a good or a bad game, they always show up the same. But I think resilience is key, and know your own qualities. I think that's very important too. Know your own qualities and build your style around your qualities.
I think another quality that's so important for goalkeepers as well is confidence, man. Like the confidence just to believe in your ability. So like, can you give us a time where like you felt like you were low in confidence as a goalkeeper, and how did you kind of deal with that?
Yeah, I remember it very well. When I was like 17, 18, I first noticed that, hey, if I really want to make it in the big stadiums, I have to be very strong in my mental part. They always say it's like 80% mental and 20% physical. But the weird thing is we only practice the 20% physical. The more experience you have on and off the pitch, the better you get.
100%, man. And with us talking kind of about confidence, what do you think about Emiliano Martinez's pre-penalty antics as a goalkeeper?
I think it's incredible. When I was watching the Ecuador game as well, it was like, wow, that's insane. He definitely has that Argentina grinta, as we call it in Holland, that passion. I think off the pitch, he seems like a really cool guy, but on the pitch, he found a way to fear people shooting penalties against him.
If I'm a forward and I take a penalty kick, and he saves it and he's dancing on me after, bro, I'll be so mad, bro. Who is the scariest striker in the world that you've played against?
For me, I thought when I was playing against Portugal under 21, I was really amazed by Rafael
Leao. Yeah, baller.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I played against Mbappe 2 times, and one time he scored a brace and one time he didn't score.
All right, so now we're gonna ask you some questions about your own path and your own career as well, man. So we've seen that you have some Indonesian roots, bro. How did you kind of figure out your own roots, and what was that process like for you to eventually, you know, or potentially play for the Indonesian national team now as well?
Yeah, so I already knew for like 3-4 years that I'm eligible for that because my grandmother is from there. Basically, she told me everything about it. She was my history teacher in the high school. Every time she will give me the classes, she will cook Indonesian food and learn me about like the history. She opened up about like her own history there with the war and everything going on there. Yeah, and then last year she was like, her health was going down a lot. I came to a point where I was like, hey, I really want to consider this also as a sort of an honor to her, but also as a really like great opportunity, right? For me personally, with the World Cup 2026 coming. So I went there in the off season. I got welcomed there really, really a lot. Yeah, I was like, hey, let's continue the talks and the process. I got my citizenship there in May, and now it's in process to play in September against Saudi Arabia and Japan, and I just can't wait to play in front of the fans there in the stadium. And I believe, we have a solid chance. So we're gonna fight for it.
All right, so now we're gonna play a game called Would You Rather. So would you rather score a penalty to win a shootout, or score a header off a corner in the 99th minute?
I think the header off the corner is every goalkeeper's dream. Every time we're losing with one goal, and I already played in my head, you know, like, oh, if a corner comes, that I'm gonna wait.
You're gonna score.
So I think I have to go for that one. Yeah.
Would you rather get scored on by a Panenka or an Olympico?
I'd rather do it on a Panenka because I think an Olympico could be a little bit of a mistake of a goalkeeper. Panenka is a PK, which is always you can go everywhere, right? So now I had one Panenka last year against Colorado. It didn't feel good, but then in the preseason, Messi tried to score an Olympico, and luckily I saved it.
Ooh,
so.
Okay.
And I was like, if he scored that Olympico, it would have been nice to be all over the internet with that Olympico. So I was like, I would have the Panenka.
What do you think is one thing that MLS could learn from European football? And then what's one thing from European football that they could learn from the MLS?
Yeah, I think if you look at the salary budgets and the equal chances, I think it's way more competitive here all over the league. But I think what the MLS can learn from Europe is, I think they should open up a little bit more DP spots maybe and put the salary budget a little bit higher. Maybe we have to look also into make the season like together with the European season, right? Where we have the summers off. Also, we're playing during the Euros and during Copa America. If you want to grow to that level of league where you want to get those players who play in that competitions, I think you want them to play in as much games as possible in your league.
What's your most memorable save as a goalkeeper? And like walk us through that moment as well.
Yeah, I think I have to go to the game against Ajax when I made the triple save. We won 1-0 there, and it was triple save. The first two was from Haller, and the third one was from Tadic. Fun fact: after that game, I got scouted by FC Dallas, so I got a call after that game from FC
They're like,
Dallas.
yeah, we need this guy. We need this guy right away.
Yeah, a wild dream because my brother's a big fan for Ajax too, but he was so proud of me and everything, and I became man of the match, and yeah, that was very very proud and surreal moment.
I feel like one of the best things as a goalkeeper, as a player in general, is kind of taking things from other players and trying to implement it in your own game, but like also staying true to your own roots and true to yourself. And I think that's a massive credit to you as a goalkeeper. Obviously, you know, with your MLS All-Star selection, man, and we're so proud of you and we're super excited for you, man. How you feeling with that?
Yeah, it's been a great honor. I think something that I really worked hard for. Yeah, I believe last year I was very close to getting it too. Then unfortunately I didn't got it, but yeah, this year it's been incredible, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that with all those stars playing in a big stage and yeah, showing what I'm capable of.
For sure, man. We're excited for you, seeing you with the likes of Messi, Suarez, all those guys, man. We're honored to have you on Goal today, man. Thank you so much for coming on with us, brother.
Thank you for your time, and always a pleasure.
Yes, man.
See you in Columbus.
Yes, sir. See you in Columbus, man. We're super excited for you. This is Rahimovic from Goal USA. Maarten Paes. We're out of here, baby.